Hi everybody, I thought I'd do a video on my thoughts about Jhon Durán and his potential transfer to Al-Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Been a lot of chat on social media about this, lots of different opinions. Just wanted to share some of my thoughts really. Coming at this not as a fan of Aston Villa, but as a fan of Colombia, as a fan of Jhon Durán and as a fan of football. I think it's a really interesting move. It's had a lot of people talking. Really, I've got two thoughts on it. One is the best possible case scenario and one is the worst possible case scenario. I think the best possible case scenario is he gets a lot more minutes at Al-Nassr than he was getting at Aston Villa. He starts every game, he scores goals, he stays fit, he learns from Cristiano Ronaldo about being a model professional, looking after himself on and off the pitch, and learns that will to be the best in the world and to win from Cristiano. And that puts him in a good position to help Colombia qualify for and do really well at World Cup 2026. And then having made a generational amount of wealth for him and his family and those close to him, which I totally understand, that is a huge opportunity to protect the legacy of that family for generations. And for more than just him, but a lot of people around him will be financially secure as a result of this move, including Jhon Jader Durán. That's the best case scenario, and that maybe then he goes to World Cup 2026, and if he's fit and firing, if James is still doing his thing, if Colombia are strong, he might have a great World Cup, and at that point he might have an opportunity, should he so desire, to move back to Europe to play in a top league at a top team, and he might just be able to command a salary somewhere similar to what he's going to get at Al-Nassr. My worst case scenario, which I fear for in his case and for Colombia, is that obviously anything can go wrong. He could get injured, other things could happen, but even if he does play, if he's playing in a less competitive league, I don't think he'll slip down the pecking order in the Colombian national side. I think Néstor Lorenzo won't be too concerned about what league he's playing in. He knows his talent. There are plenty of players that are playing in other slightly what might be deemed lesser leagues, whether that's in Mexico or Russia or other places in the Colombian setup. So I think he'll still be okay to play for Colombia, but I just worry he won't have that competitiveness and that sharpness that he would have from playing in a really top team, playing Champions League football. And so I just worry that he will just go off the boil. It won't help Colombia. It won't help their qualification and their World Cup. And that should he want to leave Saudi Arabia, he'll really struggle because he'll be on a huge wage. And if his form and his status has dropped, no one's going to want to come close to matching that salary for him. So then comes a really difficult decision about, do you stay and earn out your wages, or do you take a big pay cut to try and prove yourself again? And what's interesting about this move is that no one really has done this move to Saudi Arabia at the same stage in their career as Jhon Durán. Nobody has had the potential that he has when they've gone there at such a young age for so much money. So we just don't know what will happen to somebody who could be reaching his peak in 2 or 3 or 4 years as he comes sort of halfway through his contract or towards the end of his contract. He should be hitting peak form in his peak years. We just don't know what that will mean and what the football landscape will look like when he comes to that stage around World Cup 2026 and after. So like I say, I'm not here to judge financial decisions, political decisions, but as a Colombia fan, I want to see him getting more minutes. I want to see him scoring goals, but I also want to see him surrounded by the best players, training and playing at the highest level to be at his absolute peak for the World Cup in Mexico, USA and Canada. And my fear is that might not happen. So fingers crossed, everything works out one way or another. I think my eyes are firmly set on World Cup 2026 for Colombia. So let's hope he can be a big part of that.